In the great state of Montana, game wardens fight a daily battle. They fight to enforce state game laws and protect our natural resources. Today, just outside Whitefish, Montana, state game wardens uncover a gruesome crime.
And there is a bullet fragment.
In Region 2, the fishing is just a little too good for one angler.
Mike, I got some more bad news.
And for Captain Jeff Darrah, all good things must come to an end.
That's for you.
It all happens right now.
You know what you did wrong? You're before shooting hours. There we go. You want to go to jail today?
Whitefish, Montana. Someone's been shooting white-tailed deer and leaving them to waste. Wardens have discovered several dead animals in recent weeks.
Can't even really call them hunters. They're just the worst kind. You know, it's not even rifle season. It's night and dark, and they're wasting everything.
A similar string of killings occurred exactly 1 year ago. That case went unsolved. Now, wardens suspect the same person might be killing again.
So last week they shot one over on the other side of Whitefish, and then 3 more in this area. We got a little evidence, and it's a consistent caliber at least, with some of the ones that were shot and left last year. And then the one up the road here had a bullet in it that matched the bullets that were down on the road south of here. So there's definitely a pattern, so we're definitely looking for that caliber weapon.
Warden Chris Crane heads up a team of investigators assigned to find the shooter. It's after dark, and the team hopes remote cameras might help them spot the nighttime poacher.
You can put the ladder up on this one and be careful enough not to break branches. Just require a little careful placement, but I think if you do it right here.
You might get the plate too when they're pulling in.
Yeah.
That's where you get paid the big bucks, right?
Exactly right.
Well, we'll put it there, and we'll put it hopefully right under that branch.
Yeah, I think
get a little break up. Okay.
The wardens mount a remote camera close to the recent kill sites and then set up a shooting decoy. If the shooter decides to wander out tonight, wardens want to catch him red-handed.
It's just after midnight, and based on all the reports we're getting and conversation with landowners, that's when they're shooting them is between midnight and 3.
The wardens hunkered down for a long, cold night on the job. Tonight, their guns are ready.
Are you going to roll up as soon as we hear a shot?
Oh yeah, start rolling.
Okay, red and blues will come up. James will be in the back of my truck. He'll hop out, get the gate. We treat it like a felony stop because someone has just committed a crime with a firearm and it's night. We don't know potential of them to be alcohol and other sorts of things is there. So we treat it as a felony stop, which is guns out. And then as soon as they obey commands and we realize that things are safe and things get toned down, then we'll tone it down, and then we'll see what's going on. This is just a huge waste of resources, and it's not doesn't look good for anybody. So hopefully we can catch them. If we catch them, maybe open the can of Brian Golia, let's get a search warrant going.
In Montana's Region 2, Warden Kyle Miller keeps an eye on the summer crowd. Plenty of people make the most of Montana's short, hot season. After lunch, the warden spots a problem.
Good, how are you guys? Good. Why'd you toss the beer can in the grass? Don't lie to me. Do not lie to me, okay? I'm being straight with you, you be straight with me.
I had one.
Why'd you toss it in the grass?
The warden stops 3 men riding a single four-wheeler, and one of the men has been drinking.
Where are you guys going?
Just up to the next pull off here, we went rafting.
You want rafting?
Yeah.
Okay. We need to go get the beer can. You are gonna get a littering ticket today for tossing beer can in the woods.
The warden walks the men back to find the tossed beer can.
Miller Lite, is that the one?
Next, the warden tackles the issue of drinking and driving.
Even on a four-wheeler, you can't be drinking a beer going down the road opera anyone, okay? I'm not gonna jack you up over that. I am gonna write you a littering ticket for tossing that in the woods, okay? And we'll leave it at that, okay? If you wanna go sit back with your buddies, give me a few minutes and I'll be back with you, okay?
Warden Miller slaps the driver with a $135 littering ticket, but lets the beer drinking slide.
Bond is $135.
I could pay you today if I can make it back to my truck that way.
Okay.
I won't there, but
So just for my knowledge, why did all three of you go up to run a shuttle?
well, my friend's wife didn't think she was going to make it on the trip down, and then she got off work a little bit earlier, so she met us up here.
Uh-huh.
So we had an extra vehicle.
Oh, so there's two vehicles down there. I'm comfortable with two people riding on this four-wheeler, okay? One person can hop in the bed of my truck. I'll just go real slow, and that way we'll get everybody back to where they need to go.
Appreciate it.
We'll do that.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
Coming up, wardens hunker down in search of a serial poacher. Stevensville, Montana. State Game Warden Jeff Darrah heads to the office.
Well, just another day. What'll happen today? Pretty hot. Got a fire going. See what happens today.
Warden Darrah's been a Montana State Game Warden 26 years. This morning's drive to headquarters might be longer than most. In the morning meeting, the captain addresses the team.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a real pleasure. And it's hard, but it's going to be fun too.
After 26 years on the job, Warden Darrah's turning in his badge.
That's for you. No, I got one. That's the extra one. That's for whoever else steps into the role. And
well, obviously Jeff's had a tremendous career. 26 years is a long time in law enforcement, and certainly he's hung in there through some very good times, and no question is leaving us on the top of his game. Tremendous mentor and an outstanding individual to have, train our new staff.
good region. It's made it easy, and it's made it fun, and get to looking around and they see I hired you, I hired you, I hired you, hired you, hired you, hired you. I just got stuck with you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
I've had the privilege of working with Jeff myself for about 2 decades. We've traveled a lot of miles together, and it's all been good.
It's pretty tough this morning. Mark Anderson, I told most of you, he called me this morning. And when I was a sergeant for Chief Crop here in Butte, it was a slow indoctrination. No, it was a quick indoctrination into being a supervisor in Butte. And Jim knew that was going to be that way. And matter of fact, Jay Habman knew it before I went over there. And Jay Habman called me and he goes, "Don't do it, Jeffy." He says, "Don't do it." He says, "Those guys," he says, "you're a good guy." He says, "Those guys will eat you for lunch."
You know, he has tremendous passion for the resource, and that comes out in his work every day. Everybody that he contacts, for the most part, treats with dignity and respect.
Thanks, guys. Next time will be a better deal.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
We're usually pretty good about it. We kind of just got skunked.
Got a skunk, so gotta try to catch a fish. So. Okay, well,
All right, thank you.
thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
You too.
It has been really fun working as a game warden. It's just time to go.
And I think game wardens in general, being the ambassadors for fish, wildlife, and parks, by the number of people that we contact eye to eye in the field, a guy like Jeff really serves to, I guess, display what this agency is about and what the job of a field game warden is about, and and how it emulates our work.
One of Jeff's last assignments was also one of his most important. Many of Montana's mountain lakes are off limits to fishing until July 1st. This time of year, anglers tend to get a bit antsy, waiting for the season to open. Warden Darrah packs back into Montana's deep backcountry to set up base camp and keep an eye on the lakes in the days before the July 1 opener.
I got another FG21, and that's my wife. She's Mrs. FG21, and without her, I couldn't have been the 2-1 I was, you know.
He's got help on this assignment, longtime partner Terry Althouse.
Warden Althouse and I, we've shared this warden district. He's had it a lot longer than I did, but I had it for several years as well. And we always look on the calendar to see when July 1st falls. If July 1st falls during the middle of the week, it has a tendency not to have maybe somebody up here violating, but this year the first fell on a Sunday.
The wardens make their way into a nearby lake and set up surveillance. Almost immediately, Darrah notices campers on a closed lake.
So someone that's going to be here on Sunday to fish on opening day probably is going to show up on Friday or Saturday, and that's before the season. So we want to be here when they show up to make sure they don't wet a line before they're supposed to. Maybe this evening they'll all just decide it's close enough.
Coming up.
I was getting frustrating.
Wardens get desperate to find their killers. In Montana's Region 1, State Game Warden Chris Crane investigates reports of a serial poacher. Someone's killing white-tailed deer in the dead of night. This morning, Crane takes yet another phone call.
This exactly is it the same area, same field? We got a handful. We got another deer down. Remember where we were sitting the other night at the Twin Bridges Lodgepole? It's right about there. And apparently she said she heard something a little after 2 o'clock.
The warden spots the dead animal.
So let's see if I can get into that field. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 4. He's big bodied too.
This is the 10th deer killed in just 4 weeks.
Gonna document the location of deer, and then I gotta take a bunch of pictures and kind of get oriented of where it is. I am just kind of putting the hair down and back just to see if there's any holes. Any little holes. The suspects that we've had are using small calibers, so there's gonna be just a little hole. You gotta figure out where the blood's coming from. If it's coming from when the birds are getting the face there.
Wardens don't just enforce the laws, they investigate crimes too. As Warden Crane checks the animal, he discovers a broken leg.
There's a broken leg there, or if it's coming from a wound. You got a broken leg, you don't want to dismiss it as roadkill, because when you look at it a little closer, actually it's got a little hole right there. A little hole. Could be a bullet wound. And there is a bullet fragment. So that's not going to give us enough to match it to a rifle or anything. Sucks to see these big bucks, trophies for a lot of people, and they shoot them and leave them. Still warm.
The warden's investigation attracts attention of the neighbors.
Oh, shot, definitely. That broken leg, it was shot too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, there's bullet fragments in there. There's one in the neck. That's as far as I've gotten so far. I know, nice big, just totally wasted.
It is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Still, Crane keeps at his work, and eventually he finds a key piece of evidence.
Metal detector didn't even pick it up, but it's almost a full slug. First of all, it's a similar type bullet as what I've gotten out of the other deer. Just by casual appearance, the rifling looks similar and the same, has like a gold coating on it, 22. So if we ever get a gun, with the crime lab, we can match this up to a gun. So usually if we got a gun, we got a person, we got a suspect. So if we ever get to that point, now I've got evidence to tie a person and that gun to this deer, which was unlawfully taken. We're finished with that deer. We've got some fragments from the front leg and a nice slug from, 2 slugs from the neck. We saved the rack as evidence, basically for courtroom or just evidence that deer did exist. So we don't save that whole carcass there. It's not fit for consumption, so I can't take it to the food bank because it was out here too long. And we don't store them in the freezer, so that'll go to the dump.
On his way off the property, another local stops the warden.
Somebody hit that on the road and then it went down and died, or the poacher?
That was shot.
Was it?
Several times, yeah.
There've been a lot of that.
There has been.
Especially up and down this side.
Yep, way too much. We've been out here a lot and just can't ever connect with them.
Can't
so
catch them up. I'm like you guys, you know. Damn it, we got seasons for this, you know.
That's right, and I mean,
Wardens have an understanding that local residents are their eyes and ears when they're not around. That's exactly why Warden Crane passes out his info to anyone who will take it.
Can I give you my card in case you see something?
Yeah.
And then you can give me a holler?
Okay,
this is my territory that they're killing stuff in. Not that I want to admit it, but yep.
We're getting some cussing many of them, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks.
All right, be careful.
Thanks, yep.
Suddenly, the warden spots vultures. He wonders if the birds might point to yet another illegal kill site.
They're like vultures. I think I should go out there.
Coming up, wardens hunker down to try and snuff out a serial poacher.
Yep, we're gonna go do the night thing again. I hear a car coming from the south.
Montana State Game Wardens wear many vests, and today,
oh, all right.
Warden Doug Johnson takes a break from patrol to make a little noise.
There you go. Good job. You notice how you starbursted that, right? You're right in the center.
Okay.
Okay? You're right in the center. There you go, just like that. Where did your gun end up? Way over there, didn't you? There you go, exactly. We were contacted by the Montana Wounded Warrior Project, and they wanted to come on down here to Hamilton to try their hand at some trap shooting.
Turns out Warden Johnson knows the trap game and knows how to teach shooters to hit targets.
Good job, Mike.
The 5 individuals we have today range anywhere from a couple tours, you know, one tour to multiple tours. Iraq and Afghanistan, we have an Army Ranger, a couple infantrymen, combat engineer, retired first sergeant. Pretty diverse group of folks here.
We've teamed up with the Hamilton Trap Club. So the Montana Game Wardens Association and the Hamilton Trap Club has stepped up that we're going to provide the birds for them. BVAC Ammunition, that's the Bitterroot Valley Ammunition Company, is providing all the shotgun shells to these folks. So we're just happy and honored to be able to give back to these soldiers, men and women from our armed forces.
One of the things that we like to do on these trips is, you know, we spend 4 days with these guys, 3 nights, and I'm with them constantly. So, you know, when we get back after an adrenaline-filled day like shooting or playing on the lake like we did yesterday or those kind of things, we like to kind of relax around the fire. It's a little bit smoky today, so it was a little bit tough, but last night to have a fire, but we relaxed around the fire, and you know, inevitably these guys start to tell war stories. So we have a group of guys here that have seen a significant amount of combat in their tours and a significant amount of trauma, and really, I can tell you that speaking as a combat veteran myself, they really just appreciate the fact that the community's come together and been able to do something like this for them.
A little practice, and it looks like these shooters are hitting their stride.
Oh. There you go.
Over in Whitefish, Montana, Game Warden Chris Crane works overtime on a serial poaching case. To date, he's already processed 1 kill site and needs to get to a second.
They're like vultures. I think I should go out there.
The warden spots nearby vultures. Now he wonders if he's got a second kill in the same day.
Are you available at all?
I am.
Well, I've only processed 1 deer. I've got another one down on Twin Bridges, Lodgepole Road, in the same place that they were. And there's some vultures out here on Farm to Market, so I'm going to check that out. So I wonder if you want to go process that deer.
Off the road, another carcass.
Nothing left of that one. We probably won't get a cause of death on this, but let's document it.
The number of kills continues to add up, and the wardens still have no suspect. Warden Crane is losing his patience.
Hey Wes, I got another one up here on Farm to Market, another big buck.
The warden spots a third potential illegal kill, another mature buck.
Looks like it's been here a little longer.
The warden spends another hour processing the deer, and in that process, he discovers more startling evidence.
Whitetail buck, looks like 4x4. We've got 2 slugs out of that. Both are in really good shape, so we'll definitely get some info from that. They seem to be similar enough to the ones we got out of the other deer to make believe it's the same shooter, same event.
This poaching case continues to grow at a startling pace. The shooter, or shooters, face serious charges that include shooting out of season, shooting after dark, and wasting game. Crimes that carry stiff fines, a loss of hunting privileges, and yes, possible jail time.
We're getting evidence. We catch a guy. We got tons of charges on him. We just need to figure out who it is, and we'll match it to him and stick it to him.
Straight ahead on Wardens.
Mike, I got some more bad news.
What's that?
Trout anglers find themselves in a bit of hot water. Today on Wardens, Region 1 has a poaching spree on their hands.
And there is a bullet fragment.
With no leads in the case, they're patrolling heavily, including midnight decoy stings. In Region 2, Captain Jeff Darrah has turned the reins over after 26 years as a state game warden. And now it's the summer tourism season, and Montana game warden Kyle Miller patrols the Blackfoot corridor.
How was it today?
Good.
Yeah?
He stops to question anglers.
You keep any fish today?
Yeah, kept a couple.
Can I take a quick peek at them?
You bet.
Thanks. How big is that one?
This one right here?
Uh-huh.
The warden quickly realizes this fisherman's keep may not be legal.
I think it's 10.
Is it 10?
I think it's 10.
Well, that's over 10.
Let me double check the regs. I think it's 10. Will you pull them out for me?
14.
About 14. Who caught them?
I did.
You caught them all?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do have to write you a citation, okay? Are you gonna bring them home, and it was your plan to bring them home and eat them, I'm assuming?
For my buddy, his wife's from Spain. She's never eaten trout, so.
Okay.
It's like the
Okay.
one time I actually eat one.
Yeah.
I don't like trout, so
Okay.
I'm catching them, but I don't like eating them.
All right. This is what I'll do for you. I'll just write you for the one, the bigger one out of the 2. I'll let you keep the trout. I won't take them from you, so she can have her meal. Does that sound fair? That's fair as I can be.
Yeah.
The warden takes the fish to record it as evidence. Back at the truck, Miller spots another problem.
Mike, I got some more bad news.
What's that?
It's a cutthroat. I didn't even look at it until I got it up their truck. Can you pull those other two out again for me? I'm sorry to do that to you, man.
Cutthroat trout are an endangered species and must be released.
Let's see, that one's got it too.
Oh my God.
So they actually are all three considered cutthroat.
Yeah, endangered. Lay it on me.
Well, I'll keep the same deal with you, man. I'll just write you for the one. I'm gonna tank all three up now. Can I borrow your net? Would that be cool?
Yeah.
I'll tank all three up, take a photo of them. I will let you keep them still, and we'll just leave it at a learning lesson, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Anytime they have an orange slash underneath their jaw, it's considered a cutthroat and it needs to be released.
The warden documents all three fish and writes a $135 ticket. This fishing trip got real expensive.
I always consider myself a conscientious
fisherman,
and I just totally misread that.
And mistakes happen, you know, and I mean, you're honest about it. And it was obvious to me that it was a mistake, so, you know, things happen. So now I'm gonna write out a receipt for your credit card here saying that $135 will be taken out of this debit card account here. That's your copy.
Well, thank you.
Okay, any questions for me?
No. You have an extra rag book in the back?
I'll give you mine right here.
I'm gonna keep it in my box.
So then you have it. Make sure to get them gutted pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coming up, wardens try and tag a serial poacher.
Comes a car.
The Bitterroot Valley, Montana. Montana State Game Warden Jeff Darrah is out on one of his last patrols. After 26 years of service, he's retiring, but not before this backcountry assignment.
As a game warden, being seen and present is a lot. You're expected to be seen in certain places, like a lake or a popular stream or whatever. People expect to be checked by the game warden there. But in Montana, we have so many remote type locations where hunting and fishing is just as outstanding, if not more, at those popular places, and people don't expect to be checked back there. So as a game warden, you want to be seen back there because you want them to always have that feeling that the game warden could be anywhere.
Exactly why Darrah camps out on some of Montana's most remote lakes. They're off limits to fishing until July 1st, but wardens suspect summer anglers may sneak in and try to fish early.
If you catch a violation there or somebody breaking the law, it's worth 20 of those citations you would write where they expect to be checked or they expect to see a warden.
Captain Darrah and Warden Terry Althouse spend the entire weekend watching the lake till the Sunday morning opener.
There are fish still spawning in the stream, so we were here to make sure that nobody would jump the gun and fish before July 1st. And in the past years, we've had violations. This year, we had none.
Back at base camp, Warden Darrah prepares for his last patrol.
Today, I'm going to take Justin, who's a fairly new game warden here in this region, and it's kind of one of my last patrols and kind of maybe not his first, but it'll be the first time he's been into this location, and I wanted to make sure I got to show it to him. So today we're going to ride in to several different lakes. We're on top of Hoodoo Pass, which is the border between Montana and Idaho, and we're going to ride into Heart Lake and Pearl Lake and Dalton Lake. And we're in the middle of July. I'm sure we're going to be riding through snow today, and we'll see flowers and just an awesome view of the world.
From the top of Montana, the warden shares nearly 3 decades of advice with the younger Warden Singletary. Way up here, the guys take time to take in Montana's pretty places.
I think we're going to end up being up on top of that ridge, looking down into Hart. Yeah. I wonder if there's any fish in that lake. Looks deep enough. As a game warden, sometimes we get wrapped up in the politics, the part of making a case or dealing with people that maybe aren't so fun to deal with sometimes. And we get wrapped up into that, and sometimes we just forget to use the old cliche, stop and smell the flowers.
Way up here on top of Montana, Darrah realizes not just today, but his last 26 years, life as a warden has been a pretty good ride.
We know one thing, they're not up here. You gotta eliminate areas, Justin.
Hold up your license!
I'll be right down!
Give your finger, I can't see your name. That's a 1, right?
Like a 72.
Looks good. Have a good day. If there's any advice I have to any young game warden, whether you're in Montana or Minnesota or wherever you're at, there's a reason why you took the job that you took. And don't forget what that reason is. Stop and smell the flowers, look at the rocks, look at the animals, and remember that that's why you chose this profession. I've got enough stories to write a book in my own memories. They're hard, some of them are hard to remember, and some of them get to be better stories as the years go on. Maybe we embellish or we have a better memory of those stories, but you know, I wish I would have met Steve Puppy of Muddy Boot Productions on my first day as a game warden, and he could have rode with me every day, because some of the snippets you're about to see or some of the funny things that we ran into or serious things that we ran into in the last 3 years. I heard a few shots.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we heard, I think, about 4 shots that way.
Maybe I better pull the gun down, huh?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Hey guys.
How's it going?
Good, how you doing today?
Well, we don't know yet.
Why are you pissed? You didn't get your elk or what?
Oh, I'm pissed over this.
Oh,
you get that camera out of my face, cowboy.
Hey, you just calm down a little bit, okay? Just calm down. All right. Here you go. Not that I don't believe you that you were using spinners, but what do you got on your line over there?
Nothing right now.
Yours is broke off too?
Well, look down in the rock, so then we'll get it out.
Oh, okay.
It's
And your line broke off?
Yeah.
You don't have any worms around here, do you? When I start looking around, am I going to find any worms?
No.
Okay, because I'm going to look around, because it makes me nervous when I come up and both lines are broke.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to look around a little bit. And I'm not going to find any night crawlers, like right there.
There is.
Give me the pole. That's yours right there.
No, there ain't.
That's it. Hang on, we're going for it. That's the... 210, we got the rig pulled over here just outside Anaconda. I'm going to be out with the vehicle.
Yeah, copy that. I'll be right behind you.
Up next, wardens investigating a serial poacher finally get a break.
We got a tip on some guys. Ready for the rifle yet, Brian?
Near Whitefish, Montana, state game wardens continue to investigate case after case of illegal white-tailed deer kills. In the last 2 weeks, wardens have discovered more than 11 animals shot and killed by a nighttime poacher.
So hey, let me know if you see any dead deer on the sides of the road, whether it looks like roadkill or not. Let us know, please.
Copy that. 5803.
It's a grizzly bear management guy. There's a pile of hay that looks like a deer.
Game warden Chris Crane is the lead on this investigation and discovers another dead animal.
Another big-bodied buck. There was 2 in this field last week. We were just out here, just this intersection right out here, 24 hours and 36 hours ago, and looking for people doing just this thing. We just missed them, so we'll keep it up and hopefully catch them. Come to see the gore?
The shooting spree has most folks in the community on high alert.
I also work for the Kalispell Police Department.
Okay.
I mean, if there's anything that we can do at any point,
just call, if you see something, call the sheriff's office and let them know. Shooting bucks and then just leaving them. You know? No, it's not for sport, it's for stupidity. And then last week there are 2 that were shot here and left here last week too.
These were all in this field?
No, just one. Just the one was in the field.
So this is kind of a spree that's kind of going around this area, is that?
Yeah, Farm Market Road all the way to here, so.
Okay, well, we'll certainly start paying more attention. You know, I mean, we sit back off the road a little bit, but, you know, if we hear something, we're certainly.
Let me give you my card.
You know, we live right here, so.
Yeah.
The warden knows each time the shooter acts, it's another chance for officers to take him down, which is why wardens will work overnight on another stakeout.
Tonight we are on our night patrol. We've been out here over a week consecutively after finding several dead deer shot and left wasted. We've had assistance from other agencies as well trying to cover this area. Just a hot spot for it.
Tonight, the team hunkers down and will keep a watchful eye on the valley.
Good to go?
Yeah, good to go. Yep.
Another night in paradise.
Yeah, I know. Hidden off the road where we can see them, but they can't see us.
All night long, wardens keep watch.
Comes a car.
Outside of a few vehicles, officers do not spot anything suspicious.
I was getting frustrating because we're spending a lot of man hours. We're spending a lot of resources and getting lots of hours out here, and we're not catching anybody.
It will take another 4 weeks before wardens finally get a break.
There you go. Put a little muscle into it. We weren't getting very much on our investigation, all the night patrols and stuff we did. So reaching out to other agencies, we're at Whitefish PD right now. So I sent a letter to the Whitefish City Chamber of Commerce and asking for basically trying to get some reward money going. So that currently is $4,450. Some tip mount money, some is donations from private citizens and business owners. So what that has done as soon as that first press release went out is we got a tip.
A tip on a suspicious group of locals.
We got a tip on some guys, and so we called them up and brought them in to do some interviews, which they did, and they're starting to tell us about some deer that they shot, that they were kind of bored or kind of looking for something to do and decided to shoot some deer. And we did a search on the suspect's vehicle. We've recovered some evidence that should match the gun to some of the evidence that we have. But I think based on what we know and the evidence that we've taken, I think that there's some other guys out there, or other people out there that are guilty of this too.
Checking out their truck, wardens find plenty of evidence.
This has been cleaned recently, folks.
Mm-hmm. Looks like there's a pile of stuff up there in the corner. Stay back a little. Up on the roof.
Yep, little blood spot there. So we're not done yet. We're not out of the woods yet. Hopefully that reward floating around, that we can, that'll generate some more interest and get some calls in on that. Well, that's the other thing is one reason we're getting so much press out of this is people hop on it because it doesn't look good for anybody. It doesn't look good for hunters. I mean, it's not hunting, it's thrill seeking is what it is. People that hunt, they're pissed. I mean, I go out in the field and they say, hey, I saw that article, what's going on? You guys making any headway in there? Man, those guys shouldn't be in prison, they should be under the prison. It's basically senseless killing. Ready for the rifle yet, Brian?
20 poached deer, 4 suspects to date. The investigation continues. If you have any information on this case, please call 1-800-TIP-MONT. Up next, Warden Jeff Darrah signs off.
We'll see you at the Creamery Days.
Yeah.
Well, but they changed that combination.
Of course, after 26 years of being a game warden, I've got enough stories to write a book in my own memories. Some of the snippets you're about to see are some of the funny things that we ran into or serious things that we ran into in the last 3 years. We got to find a better cameraman. What did I say, they're a dime a dozen, or?
Warden Darrah is going to finish off the wounded elk. The first one is down. He moves in for a better shot on the second.
That's fine.
So what we're doing here is these are antlers that we took away from people last year that came in before the 15th and cheated. And we caught them, and I think we seized over 80 antlers. And we've got 3 other trucks today. We split the antlers up, and Ben and I here today are gonna be deposited in these in strategic locations for hopefully people to find tomorrow. Kind of an Easter egg hunt, I guess, Montana style.
Oh, hey, God. Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the camera guys that come with us on these shows, you know, they're very expendable. The camera guys are cheap to find. You can find them on just about any street corner. So we really don't care too much about their safety. You know, we try to keep them behind us, but you know, if they step in a hole or shrapnel gets them, that's, you know, that's all right. We'll find a new camera.
In Missoula, Montana, co-workers say goodbye to one of their own. After 26 years on the job, State Game Warden Jeff Darrah is saying goodbye. His last day, a little barbecue at the office, and then says goodbye to his office staff.
I'm headed out. I'm leaving. Well, Sandy, I'm going to say goodbye to you. Thanks for everything.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. We'll see you at the Creamery Days.
Yeah.
He's quitting work at 2 o'clock. He's supposed to work till 5.
Oh, I've got a patrol on the way home.
Oh, okay.
I hear there's some poaching down by the Blacksmith Brewery. Maybe back there in the alley, I don't know. But Jenny, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, you come get your licenses.
Well, but they changed that combination because I'm done. 26 years. So I think I'll go have a beer. It's been fun.
Well, as you can imagine, being in any type of law enforcement, having a spouse at home that is understanding of what you do and understanding that you don't have that normal job. And finding a spouse like that isn't always easy, but I found one. And I have a wife named Stacy. Not to say that she wasn't happy with those times when I had to call her and tell her I was going to be late, or the phone rang at 2 in the morning and I had to kick the covers off and said I got to go, and she didn't know why. Or I tell her I'm going to deal with some exceptionally bad individuals today and I don't know what time I'm going to be home. And, plus all the politics and the whining, you know, that a guy does when he comes home because he talks to his partner. Stacy was very good. My wife, she put up with a lot of things. And I just want to thank her for being there for me and for the state of Montana. Thanks, honey. I love you.